What's up guys, Nick from VapeMeet here. Today I have my tinfoil hat on so we can talk about some vaping conspiracy theories. Before we get into it, be sure to drop us a like and subscribe to the VapeMeet official YouTube channel to stay up to date with our latest videos. Much better. Now let's get into our first theory. With vaping becoming more and more popular as a method of quitting smoking, more and more people are getting on board with the idea. Current vapes are easy to operate and maintain, offer a healthy alternative to smoking, and cost less. What isn't there to love? Well, the whole thing if you're a tobacco producer or shareholder. There are theories floating around that big tobacco is behind the negative press surrounding vaping as a way of reducing vapors and recouping smokers, leading to more sales and happy shareholders. If you look in the past, it's even easier to see the truth. November of 1998 marked the completion of the Tobacco Master Settlement Agreement, or MSA, between the tobacco industry and 46 states. To help with healthcare costs from smoking, the MSA was created, and essentially the tobacco industry would make payments to the states involved. The agreement also stated it exempted the tobacco industry from any legal liability for harm caused by tobacco use. This was signed off with a guaranteed minimum payment of $206 billion over 25 years.
The tobacco industry has surrendered. And they have surrendered on our terms.
This is already pretty bad, but here's where things get interesting. Several states wanted an upfront payment versus annual payments, and to do so, tobacco bonds were sold. States that opted to sell tobacco bonds include California, Michigan, New York, New Jersey, and Massachusetts. These are all states that have recently imposed bans on vaping products. Eventually, the billions of dollars made off these bonds need to be repaid, and the amounts given solely depend on tobacco sales. MSA aside, it's clear that the US has a vested interest in tobacco, and you can find evidence of that even more recently. Almost instantly after US President Donald Trump proposed a federal ban on flavored e-cigarette products, tobacco stocks rose. After the announcement, Altria had a 1.1% raise, and Philip Morris International raised 2% after previously dropping. It's unfortunate to say, but it seems like access to life-saving technology could be lost just to make some already fat pockets a little fatter. Moving on to theory number 2, similar to tobacco, another industry losing out to vaping is pharmaceuticals. Nicotine replacement therapy, or NRT, is a multi-billion-dollar industry including products such as nicotine gum, patches, and inhalers. Although many large health organizations are non-profit, if you look deep enough, you can find some pretty interesting relationships. For example, Pfizer, one of the largest multinational pharmaceutical corporations, is one of the biggest affiliates of the American Lung Association. Vaping serves as an increasingly popular method of nicotine replacement that is not under the umbrella of NRT. Vaping also does not result in adverse health effects such as nausea and mouth irritation from gum, skin irritation with patches, and headaches from sprays. So why would it be so wrong to have a cheaper and safer alternative to expensive pharmaceutical products? Well, if you're starting to catch on to the trend, it's money. Revenues are decreasing due to many people adopting vaping as their method of choice to quit smoking. A 2019 study found that in a randomly selected group of smokers, 80% were willing to stick with e-cigarettes versus only 9% of NRT users who were given the choice of delivery methods between patches, sprays, and gum. If you're a shareholder, this is bad news. And what might be one of the easiest ways to get rid of the competition? Scare the public back onto your products. Our next theory relates to more recent developments in the vape industry. On September 13, 2019, CNN respondent Chris Cuomo hosted an interview with Gregory Conley, the president of the American Vaping Association. If you watch the interview, it's easy to tell that Conley was not going down without a fight and responded with factual information versus constant blaming and misdirecting which came from Cuomo's side. Needless to say, things got pretty heated at times. Check it out.
Once again, this is a product for adult smokers to get off of cigarettes, the most deadly habit known to man.
If that's all it's for, why does it get marketed to so many young kids, if that's all it's for?
At least 95% less harmful than smokers, and smokers need to know that.
I get the less bad argument, but what I'm saying is, you got teen vaping ads, you got scholarship ads, you throw in concerts, that's not for adult smokers, and you know it.
Concerts aren't for adults?
There are kids' concerts.
Have you been to a concert in the past 20 years?
I've been to a lot of concerts.
Please name what kid concert.
I'm very hip.
So that happened, and just 2 days later on the 15th of September, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo announced his office was seeking emergency regulations to ban flavored tobacco products. This was finalized on the 17th of September. Don't you think it's a little convenient that after an interview so clearly biased against vaping that the big brother of the reporter put forth these regulations? Must be a coincidence, right? The next theory has to do with one of the largest growing industries right now, cannabis. The legal cannabis industry has exploded on the market, generating massive sales and employment opportunities. In 2018 alone, the US cannabis industry generated over $10 billion and is expected to surpass $16 billion in 2019. Also in 2018, the industry was home to over 250,000 jobs, and this is also expected to rise. With booming sales and more states getting on board with legalizing cannabis, it's clear that this is a very important industry. In most recent news, reports of lung issues have spread. Hundreds of primarily teens have been hospitalized and there have been a handful of deaths. Initially, there were claims that vaping was the cause, but this was quickly corrected and it became apparent that counterfeit THC cartridges manufactured with fillers are the actual culprit. If you're looking for more information about counterfeit THC cartridges, check out my video covering the entire case and see why you don't have to worry if you're using a nicotine vape. Now, when the actual news came out, some reports were changed to reflect these findings, but it seemed very downplayed. Many news outlets continued to refer to THC cartridges as vapes, and some still referred to vaping as the cause. My theory on this is the legal cannabis industry is being protected. With a successful track record showing it can be a huge source of revenue and jobs, some bad press could take that all away. On top of that, it's easier to put blame on vaping for all of this, which has already been causing trouble for tobacco and pharmaceuticals. Finally, our last theory, Joule is the mastermind behind all of this bad press. As the largest vape company in the world, you might think they're in it to support the vape industry, but things took a dark turn not too long ago. On December 20th, 2018, Altria Group, a tobacco producer behind brands like Marlboro, purchased a 35% stake in Joule with a price tag of $12.8 billion. So let's fast forward a bit to August of 2019 now. On the 14th, the Vapor Technology Association, or VTA, an organization formed to protect and promote businesses in the vape industry, sued the FDA over unfair requirements in pre-market tobacco applications. Also known as PMTAs, these are essentially applications for tobacco products to be reviewed by the FDA prior to public sale. Following this, 6 days later on August 20th, Joule Labs announced its departure from the VTA, referencing disagreements on quote-unquote critical policy issues. They then go on to say that they support tobacco legislations and an outright ban on flavors. Yeah, they said that. Now you might be thinking with a ban on flavors this would hurt Joule as well, but their strategy becomes clear when you look at the big picture. With a ban on flavors or vaping in general, vape shops would be eliminated, leaving only one source for vape equipment, the same source with pockets full of tobacco money. What do you think about these theories? Do you have any of your own that didn't make the list? Let me know in the comments below so we can talk about it. As always, I'm Nick from VapeMeet. Thanks for watching.